Tonight, we're going on a very gentle adventure, one that happens right inside the heart, in the sunny meadows and whispering woods of Konya, where wildflowers danced in the breeze and the river sang a happy song, lived a cheerful little squirrel named Bouncy. Bouncy had the fluffiest brown fur, the brightest hazel eyes, and a tail that never stopped bouncing with joy. Every day he played with his friends, racing up trees, jumping over streams, and laughing until the sun went down. But one bright spring morning, something was different. A new animal had arrived in the meadow. She was a quiet little rabbit named Lira. Her fur was soft gray, her ears were long and delicate, and her eyes were big and gentle. She sat alone under the old oak tree while all the other animals played and laughed together. No one seemed to notice her. She looked invisible. Bouncy stopped bouncing. He tilted his head and watched her for a long time. Lira wasn't playing. She wasn't laughing. She was just sitting there, hugging her knees, looking at the ground as if she wished she could disappear into the grass. Bouncy's heart gave a little squeeze. He had never felt invisible before, but he could see how lonely it made her. So Bouncy did something very brave. He walked over, sat down beside her, and spoke in the gentlest voice he could make. "Hello," he said. "My name is Bouncy. I saw you sitting here all alone. Would you like to play with me?" Lira looked up, surprised. Her eyes were shiny, as if she might cry. I don't know how to join in," she whispered. "Everyone already has their friends. I feel like no one can see me." Bouncy's tail stopped bouncing for a moment. He thought carefully. Then he smiled, a small, kind smile. "I see you," he said softly. "And I think maybe you and I can create our own game. A game where no one feels invisible." Lira blinked. "Really? You'd do that for me?" "Yes," Bouncy answered. "Because everyone deserves to feel seen." And so their adventure began. First, Bouncy taught Lira how to make shadow puppets with their paws in the sunlight. They turned the big oak tree's shadow into a castle, a dragon, and a flying ship. Soon, Lira was giggling a tiny, shy giggle at first, then bigger and brighter. Next, they played invisible treasure hunt. Bouncy closed his eyes and let Lira lead him by the paw through the meadow. She described what she saw: a shiny beetle, a perfect round pebble, a flower that looked like a tiny crown. Bouncy listened with all his heart and repeated every beautiful thing she noticed. For the first time in a long while, Lira felt truly heard. As the sun climbed higher, they invented more games. They became brave explorers, discovering a secret whispering river. They built a tiny fort out of sticks and leaves and called it the Friendship Tower. They even played, "What if we were giants?" Imagining the blades of grass were giant trees and the ants were friendly dragons. But the most special game was the one they played when the sun began to set. They sat together under the oak tree and played the game of being seen. Bouncy would say, "I see you, Lira. I see how gentle your voice is." Lira would answer, "I see you, Bouncy. I see how kind your heart is." They took turns saying kind things they noticed about each other. They breathed slowly together, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. And every time they breathed, the invisible wall around Lira grew thinner and thinner until it disappeared completely. By the time the stars came out, Lira was no longer sitting alone. She was laughing, playing, and running through the meadow with Bouncy and all the other animals who had finally noticed how wonderful she was. But the story doesn't end there, little one. That night, Bouncy had a very important dream. He dreamed that every animal in the forest had a tiny, invisible friend sitting beside them, someone who felt lonely, shy, or different. And in the dream, Bouncy went from animal to animal, teaching them the same gentle game he had played with Lira. He taught the loud rabbits to notice the quiet ones. He taught the fast foxes to slow down and wait for the slower friends. He taught everyone that sometimes the most important friend is the one who isn't making any noise at all. When Bouncy woke up the next morning, He knew what he had to do. From that day forward, Bouncy became the forest's seer of the unseen. Every time he saw someone sitting quietly on the edge of a game, he would walk over, sit beside them, and say the same kind words. "I see you. Would you like to play with me?" And slowly, the whole forest changed. No one felt invisible anymore. Everyone learned that true friendship isn't about being the loudest or the fastest. It's about noticing who needs to be seen and making space for them with a gentle heart. And every evening, when the sun painted the sky in soft pinks and oranges, Bouncy and Lira would sit together under the old oak tree. They would breathe slowly together. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and they would say the same beautiful sentence. "Thank you for seeing me." Now, little one, it's your turn. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath with me. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. If you ever see someone sitting quietly, feeling invisible, remember Bouncy. Walk over, sit beside them, say the kindest words you can. "I see you." Because the most beautiful friendships often begin with the simplest sentence, "I see you." And you, dear child, are seen. You are loved. You are important exactly as you are. Sweet dreams, and may you always have the courage to notice the quiet ones. The end.